My name is Michael. When I was in high school, my dad got sick and started to be in and out of the hospital. Since it was tough with just my mom working, I dropped out of high school to get a job. I'm sorry, Michael. It's my fault that I'm taking away your youth. My dad, who was always energetic, looked uncharacteristically down. So, I cheered him up, saying, "Don't worry about it. Just focus on getting better." Sure, it was sad to say goodbye to my close friends like this, but my younger brother, Daniel, was still in middle school, and as the older brother, I had to step up. Fortunately, because of my sacrifice, Daniel was able to go to high school, and Dad got the treatment he needed. The job I chose after dropping out of high school was working at a small French restaurant. I've always loved cooking shows, thinking that flipping a skillet over a fiery stove or showing off knife skills was cooler than watching a baseball player hit a home run. I thought, if I'm going to work, it might as well be somewhere strict but reputable, so I learned the ropes of cooking while being toughened up by the strict manager. "Well, Michael, your dishes are really delicious." Gradually, I took over as the head cook at home for my mom. Initially, I started cooking at home out of necessity, but after starting the job, I began to see it as good practice, improving my skills bit by bit. I made a whole pasta dish, from pasta to sauce, and fed it to Daniel, who exclaimed, "Wow, this is really good. Today's meal feels so fancy." Pleased, I discovered the joy of making people happy with my cooking. Becoming interested in the world of cooking, I aimed to become a chef. Once our family situation stabilized and we had some financial breathing room, I attended an online culinary school, learning all about cooking and customer service. After graduating, I started working full-time at the restaurant where I had been a part-timer. Most of our customers are regulars. They'll leave if there's even a slight change in taste, but I have high hopes for you, Michael," said the manager, Eugene, patting my back. Thinking about my life as a chef just beginning, I was very excited. I'm going to make delicious food and please the customers. Thinking this, I took my work very seriously, day by day. Then one day, I received an invitation to a middle school reunion. I had never been able to attend before, as I was too busy. Since I dropped out of high school, middle school is my only alma mater. I want to see everyone again. Thinking this, I marked the invitation as attending. Just then, Eugene happened to pass by. "Hey, what's up? Going to a reunion?" "Yes, it's at a hotel in San Francisco." When I mentioned the hotel's name, Eugene got excited and said, "Oh, they're holding it there. I know someone who's the head chef at that hotel. Lucky you, the food's going to be great, I can assure you." The chef I admire praising someone like that must mean they're really amazing. Plus, it'll be a good learning experience for me in terms of cuisine. I thought to myself, this just added another thing to look forward to. On the day of the reunion, I was enjoying catching up with friends I hadn't seen in a long time. "Hey, Michael, long time no see." Then, my best friend from school, Jake, came over waving his hand. "Jake, how have you been?" Our conversation naturally drifted towards updating each other on our lives. "So, what are you doing these days, Michael?" "Me, I'm a chef." "Really? So, can you make those delicate, fluffy omelets that cut smoothly with a knife?" "Yeah, I could do that with my eyes closed." "Awesome." I thought to myself, what an overreaction, but I was honestly pleased to be complimented. As the evening progressed, my classmates' glasses kept refilling, and the atmosphere got livelier. As for me, I was carefully observing and savoring each dish of the hotel's course meal. Delicious. Really delicious. Everyone might be too tipsy or caught up in the moment to notice, but this was truly outstanding cooking. "Michael, you're really savoring your food there," said Jake, drinking red wine like it was juice. While thinking he was wasting good wine, I replied, "Well, as a chef, I can't help but be curious about other restaurants' flavors." That's when it happened. "Hey, look at you, talking all cool, Michael." A loud guy, overly familiar, came up and slung his arm around me. "Ugh," I grimaced without meaning to. His name was Steve. I knew him because we hung out a few times, but I always found Steve a bit hard to deal with. As you can probably tell from how he acts, he's not great at reading the room. And he was pretty drunk at the moment. I sighed internally, thinking, great, here comes trouble. But who would have thought you'd become a chef, Michael? Life's full of surprises, huh? But hey, good for you for doing well. Steve spoke in a patronizing way. No surprise there. Apparently, Steve went to a well-known university, even one I've heard of, and landed a job at a major company. He's probably earning way more than most of us. So, Steve kept asking with a smug smile, "So, how much does a chef make in a year?" He's really the epitome of rudeness. I just brushed it off, wishing I could get away from him as soon as possible. But Steve kept making more belittling comments. "Michael, I heard you dropped out of high school. Are there even jobs for someone who only finished middle school? Jobs that pay well are probably out of reach for you. Do you realize you're stuck in a poverty cycle?" His words really got under my skin. I didn't drop out of high school or become poor by choice. No, being labeled as poor itself was irritating. My mom worked hard so my dad could live, and my brother could go to college. It felt like Steve was trampling over my mom's efforts, and I was filled with indignation. "Hey, Steve, you're way too drunk," Jake said, trying to calm Steve down, but his drunken boasting and insulting remarks about being a high school dropout didn't stop. I was so fed up that I downed the rest of my good wine in one gulp and said, "I'm leaving," shaking off Steve's hand from my shoulder. "What's your problem? Not in the mood. You realize this is a famous Michelin-starred hotel, right? The chefs here are way beyond your league. If you don't savor this chance now, you'll regret it." He laughed as I stood up to leave. If this hadn't been the hotel where Eugene's acquaintance was the head chef, I might have accidentally punched Steve. Suppressing my anger, I was about to leave when Michael, a classmate named Travis, who was organizing the event, called me. "What's up? The manager of this hotel was asking for you." "Why?" "I don't know, but he seemed to have something important to discuss." There he is. "Excuse me, this is Michael." Travis waved to a tall, slender man. His demeanor suggested he was no ordinary person. "You must be Michael. Nice to meet you. I'm Austin, the manager here." Hi." I had no idea why I was being called over in such a setting. The tension from everyone around me felt painfully intense. "I came to greet you because I heard you're the prodigy working at Eugene's place." The manager bowed politely to me. I was surprised he came to greet me, but the crowd was even more abuzz. "Wow, is Michael really that amazing?" I heard such comments from the women around. Then, the manager said something even more surprising. "Actually, I have a favor to ask. Our head chef, Tyler, really wants to meet you. Would you have a moment now, despite your busy schedule?" Steve was the most shocked of all. A respectful manager and a Michelin-starred chef want to meet Michael. Steve muttered, bewildered. "Well, if I can be of any help." I was honored to meet the chef Eugene praised so highly, but at the same time, I couldn't stop feeling nervous. Then, Austin immediately called Tyler from the kitchen. "You must be Michael, right? I'm Tyler, the head chef of this hotel. Pleased to meet you." When Tyler offered a handshake, I reached out my hand, and he gripped it firmly. Then, I was suddenly struck by the thickness of Tyler's hands. There were countless calluses, likely developed from stirring heavy pots thousands of times. Just by touching his palm, I could tell how skilled a chef he was. "Actually, I'm a bit sneaky. Eugene has been praising you so much that I couldn't help but want you to work for us. It's what you'd call headhunting. Michael, would you like to work with me?" "Me? Work at this Michelin-starred hotel?" I was stunned by the unexpected offer. How about it? I think this place would be a good environment for you. It will add prestige to your career, and the salary will be higher. What do you think? My classmates buzzed with excitement at his words. Steve, who had been mocking me, was so surprised that he just gaped. Matt, Michael, you definitely should take it. Jake nearby was encouraging me. I turned back to Tyler. My mind was already made up when he made their offer. I really appreciate the offer, but I'm sorry, I have to decline. I bowed politely and looked up to see Tyler smiling kindly. Why is that? He asked. Looking directly at Tyler, I responded. I entered this field because I love Eugene's cooking. There's still so much to learn from him, and I'm satisfied with my current job. Moreover, I'm surrounded by Eugene, who I respect, and my colleagues. That's an irreplaceable treasure to me. I explained my reason for declining their offer. Tyler laughed heartily. Too bad, I've been rejected. You truly are Eugene's disciple. I wanted someone like you who takes pride in their work, but such people are hard to come by. Well, if you ever change your mind, feel free to contact me. With that, Tyler returned to the kitchen. When I turned around, my classmates were praising me, saying things like, "That's so cool, you're the best." I felt embarrassed. They were all too drunk. Then Jake, who was beside me, said, "I'll visit your restaurant next time." And I replied with a smile, "Yeah, come anytime." The next day, Eugene heard about what happened from Tyler and asked me, "Are you sure about your decision, Michael?" "I'm satisfied with my current job and life, so I have no regrets. Besides, there's still so much I want to learn from Eugene," I said with a smile. "Is that so? I understand," Eugene said, smiling somewhat happily. As an aside, a few days later, I received a call from Steve, who had bragged at the reunion. "I'm sorry about that time." He apologized for his rude behavior, even though he was drunk. "You're actually an amazing person, aren't you?" "I'm not amazing. I just love cooking. You should come to the restaurant where I work sometime." "I'll definitely visit. I always want to provide the best service to those who come to eat my cooking. That's my pride."